Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Coffee Table Conversations. Today we have with us the lovely Amy Cruz Ortiz, and she's going to introduce herself right now.
Hi, I'm Amy Cruz Ortiz, and I'm the stage manager at the Western Stage.
All right, Amy, so tell us a little bit about where you're from and what's your educational background and what brought you to the Western Stage.
So I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I graduated with my Associates of the Arts back in the summer of 2019, which is literally just last year. And I graduated from the College of Southern Nevada.
And your first project at the Western Stage was Of Mice and Men, the musical, last summer. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
So tell us about what that experience was like and what made you want to sign on for a second season at the Western Stage.
It was very intimidating because when I first got what I was going to be working on, they're like, Of Mice and Men, the musical. And I really thought, do they mean like just the play? Like, I mean, I read the book, I have the play. Are you sure it's that? I was really confused. And my first day, I think, was like their first day of tech, or like the day before tech. I was scared out of my mind, and I was like, oh my God, I have to go in and I don't know this show at all. And you guys are going into tech week. Okay. But it was so fun and it was so challenging. And, everyone over there, they were very, very understanding, that cast. And I was like, I'm so sorry. This is like, I'm in a whole different state and a whole different city. I'm so sorry if I'm doing awful. And they're like, no, no, no. But deciding to come back was really easy. I liked how hardworking and dedicated everyone was, and just I like the sense of family that was around me. So I was like, I have to come back for that. I think it's great, and I love this theater.
So tell us about what are your assignments for this 2020 season? What shows are you stage managing?
Oh, okay. So at the beginning of the year, I was stage managing for Springfest, Miss You Like Hell. That was done virtually. And then I moved on to 2x4 Bash, which was also done virtually. And then we started rehearsals for A Doll's House Part 2. And now we're in Mr. Burns, A Post-Electric Play right now.
So you're quite practiced in this whole virtual stage management thing. You have quite a lot of experience so far. So tell us, what has this virtual rehearsal process been like in comparison to what you're used to, what we're all used to, rehearsing in person? What changes have you learned to adopt, and what's working and what's not really working?
I think the biggest challenge is just getting everyone on the same technical skill as everyone else, and then also you have to realize, like, some people, they have kids, and so their kids are online working too, and then other people, their family is online working, so not everyone's Wi-Fi is the best. That's, I think, the biggest problem right now, just having accessibility to everybody. But I'm really impressed with how dedicated everybody is, how much they want to do this, because of all the challenges that they've been faced with. Everyone's like, no, I want to keep doing this. I have to keep doing this. Things that are working. I think it's funny because even though, half of these people I've never met before, I still feel like I have some sort of connection with them, which is really nice. I think everyone's getting used to being able to like look at themselves on a screen and then being able to connect with someone and still looking at the other person. Things that aren't working, I think, like singing, music is not working very well.
So let's go back to 2x4. You mentioned that you were part of the 2x4 this last summer, and you were one of the major coordinators, right? You were an Uber, is that right?
Yes, yeah. So it started right before everything happened with the pandemic, and I have this big meeting, and they're like, so this is the show we want to do. We want to do it pandemic now, pandemic in 10 years, put on a show, and it's all going to have to be through Zoom. And I remember looking at Jessica thinking like, oh, okay, this is going to be I think our biggest challenge was trying to understand the concept and then reiterate that to the rest of the group. But after that, it kind of just kept rolling. I wish we had a little bit more time on it, honestly, but that was the most fun thing ever. We were on Zoom with each other for 4 hours a day, 2 rehearsals a day in the morning and in the evening. And it was crazy, all these different ideas that everyone was coming up with. They're like, oh, we could do this. Oh, we should do that. And it's like, yeah, let's keep going. Let's go. And everyone was learning a new skill, which was very interesting. I personally got to learn video editing, which I've never dabbled with before. And then all of a sudden I like I'm pretty familiar with it now with the amount we had to do, and being able to, I guess, premiere this on YouTube, that was really interesting. And like it was really nice having my whole family be able to go and watch that. But it was very difficult. But honestly, it was really, really fun, and the thing that I looked forward to the most out of my day. So our 2x4 bash, it started 10 years ago by John Solover, and he kind of wanted another I guess season in the year for students, and it's a student run program. So from everything but directing, it's all student run. So there he picks two shows, and it's they cast by students, they're acted by students, they're designed by students, they build the sets all by students, and it's a lot edgier. It's theater on the edge, so it's a lot edgier pieces that he picks. And yeah, it's basically just a student run program. So kind of what I did for everybody, I set up our Zoom meetings every day. I helped come up with our calendar and our schedule. I set deadlines for all the students. I kind of organized everything, like all of their ideas that they wanted, and they're like, we should do this, this, and this. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it all. Let's do it in an organized manner, because I think I'm crazy, and being all over the place drives me nuts, and I can't handle that. So I was very much involved in that. And then when it came to the editing process, I became an editor. And so I did the first and second act that we had. Our show we did in 3 acts. So the first and second, I video edited all of that together. As for the Black Lives Matter, it was more of Jessica Crocker. She's the one who brought it up to us. It was early when the whole thing kind of started, or when it sparked again. She came in, she had a meeting with me separately, and she said, this is something really, really big, and we're theater on the edge. We talk about these uncomfortable topics that no one wants to talk about. We have to bring it up. And I 100% agreed on her. I was like, yes, I love it. It needs to be a part of this. And then our hardest challenge when it came to our Black Lives Matter was the fact that none of us were Black. And how do you write about something that you're not a part of, or that you can't relate to? And so we decided, okay, well, we know people who are going to these rallies. We know people who are going to these protests. And so we brought them in and we let them talk to us. We kind of just got to pick at their brain. And from that, I wrote a piece, which my friend Jason was in as well. And it was interesting because I told him, I was like, okay, we were having a really, really hard time with that whole segment, because we were like, how do we write about this when it doesn't affect us? Like, it affects us, but not directly. None of us have ever been discriminated that same way. And so I sat down with him and I said, I really, really want to give, everyone a voice. I want to be able, what are big topics? What is something that you have to deal with on a daily basis? And then based on all of our guest speakers that we had, I kind of came up with this whole big thing. And so I wrote that piece with the help of my friend. And then we had all of these other pieces that were just, we just want you in front of a camera and tell us what it's like, because none of us can relate to it. And then, we thought, okay, well, what more can we do? Because great, okay, we're using our art on this matter. And then we decided, be great. What if, instead of paying to come see the show, why don't you use the money that, you would pay for a ticket, donate it to someone who really, really needs it and who this is affecting a lot. So from there, we got onto our Black Lives Matter fundraiser, and we were able to raise over $300 for that, which was very, very impressive. And I'm very happy with that.
Now, if someone didn't get a chance to see the, what was it, 2020 Survival Guide?
2020 Declassified. Oh, wait, no, wait.
It was something Survival Guide.
It was 2x4 Bash Declassified 2020 Survival Guide.
That's right. Okay, so that was the title. If somebody didn't get a chance to see it, can they see it? Yes,
it's on YouTube right now. If you just search 2x4 Bash and you click on our home page, it's going to be that first thing you see. It's, oh gosh, what I just said. 2x4 Bash Declassified 2020 Survival Guide.
It's a really long title. Maybe next year we'll make it shorter. Now, having had this very strange, unusual, yet successful 2x4 season, what do you see for 2x4 going forward? Are there any elements from this online virtual thing that you think you're going to keep, or is it going to push you into some new direction?
I would love for there to be student writing in this, and I would love it if there could be student directing. You know, they brought it up to me. There's an, you know, students are involved with everything but directing. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of our students want to be involved in and want to learn how to do. And even if it's just they are what is an assistant director, I think that would be great. Even just, you know, they can just tap their foot in and see what they like. I would love for there to be more student writing, because this entire show was written by students and they obviously know what they're doing and they have the talent and they have the work ethic for it. And I think if there should be no reason why we can't get that done.
Agree. I think you guys totally proved that. That's my opinion. Now, going back to your background, now, you know, 2020 is Year of the Stage Manager, and you mentioned that you're from Las Vegas. You went to school in Las Vegas. So how did you even start with stage management? What made you want to go in that direction?
So that's a really funny story. I started in theater as an actor. You know, I really was into singing and dancing and acting, and that's all I wanted to do. And then this was my second year of college. My artistic director came up to me, and the stage manager that we originally had for that fall show had dropped out. So she was in need of one. And so she turns to me and my friend and she goes, "Do any of you guys want to be a stage manager?" Now, at the time, I was purely focused on acting. So I really had no idea what it meant to be a stage manager or what they did. I just knew that our stage manager was there every day. I got all my stuff from them. If I had any question, I always went to them. And then, you know, without hesitation, I was like, yeah, I'll be your stage manager. I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea what I'd have to do. And then next thing you know, I have this big meeting and she's telling me everything that they do. And I'm looking at her and I go, I have to do what now? You want me? What I have to do what? That was probably the most challenging thing I've ever said yes to in my life, but the best thing I've ever said yes to. I love stage managing. It was crazy because in the back of my head, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be really good at this. I don't know if I'm even going to like this. I said yes because why not? But I love stage managing. I think it's so fun. It challenges me every single day. I constantly have to think on my toes. I constantly have to I have to be focused 100%. And I think it's fun to me and I love it.
You love it so much that you left home and flew all the way to California.
Yeah, that was a funny story. So I started doing my next show. What was I doing? Oh, it was called The Pillow Man. Great show. And my director was Joanne Gordon at the time. And we're sitting in rehearsals, you know, it's a read through. We're all at the table and I'm sitting next to her writing all my notes. And she turns to me, she's like on her phone, and she turns to me, she goes, "You want to go to California with me?" And and I looked at her and I was like, "I'm sorry." And she goes, "Yeah, I have there's a theater that I work at occasionally and they're looking for stage managers. I like you. I like your work. Do you want to come to California with me?" And again, like without hesitation, I kind of looked at her and I said, "Yeah, okay. Sure. Why not?" And before I knew it, you know, I packed up all my stuff. I drove 8 hours to a state to another state, to another city I've never been to a whole theater, like a whole new world I had no idea about. Yeah, and then I came to the Western Stage and it was like in the middle of their tech week and I was like, "Wow, this is great."
And then did you end up working on Evita too?
Yes, I was.
Okay, which is what Joanne was directing, right?
Yeah, so that was great. I got to work with her again. I was really happy about that. Yeah, and then I was also the soundboard operator for Peter Pan on her 70th birthday.
Oh, okay. Now you're a full-blown stage manager.
I know, I got to do everything. And then I also worked in the costume shop last year. That was fun.
Oh, what shows or what pieces did you work on?
We did when I got there, Mice and Men was already up, so there wasn't much to do then. We did Peter Pan, we did Men on Boats, we did Evita. We did those 3 shows. That was fun. That was really, really fun.
So you had some involvement with our recent stage manager workshop. Is that true?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How was that?
Oh, it was so fun. So our production stage manager, Zalissa, and I, um, we started it kind of for the 2x4 bash because we had some students who were doing stage managing, and I was telling her, they don't really know how to do it. It's hard to teach that, I think, unless it's a very, very hands-on thing, I think. And so she's like, yeah, I agree. It came out to about like 5 or 6 of us in the workshop, and it was really fun. Every week, we would read through a book and a chapter and we discuss it. So it was really nice being able to go with the students. We started from the beginning, like, okay, what even is a stage manager, to what you should expect in your first rehearsal, what different types of paperwork look like. And that was really fun, just being able to show them, like, okay, yeah, so this is what, if you're going to make a rehearsal report, this is what you typically will have in it. And then this is how you want to talk to your actors. This is how you want to approach this and that. So it was really fun and very, very informative. And I learned a lot of stuff too.
So tell us a little bit more about the current show that you are working on, Mr. Burns.
So Mr. Burns, that's what we're working on right now. It's been it's been our first week. Our first couple days, I will admit, were very, very rocky, just because it's all to do with Wi-Fi connection. A lot of people kept getting kicked off. It's awkward. You're in the middle of a conversation and all of a sudden your Wi-Fi cuts out. Our cast has been very, very patient with everyone, which I appreciate so much. And they've really been, they're like, okay, if this is what we have to do, this is what we have to do. And I'm very happy with that. Our weekend, after I think our first couple days, it's been going really great. So we're going to be rehearsing for 5 weeks, and then after our 5 weeks, we're going to kind of, just put a pin in it, and we're going to say, okay, once we can come back inside, then that's when we'll pick it up. Hopefully, what we're hoping for is we'll go inside, I think we'll have like maybe 3-4 weeks of rehearsal. And I think it's really going to just be staging, because during this time when we're doing virtual, it's all very character based. So it's really nice. Our director, he's going very in depth with everything, and he's trying, try this, try that. Okay, now, like why are you doing that? Why did you choose that? And I think it's really nice to have that conversation. It's a lot of character work right now. And then once we get inside, it's going to be all like the physical, like getting into places, knowing you're blocking.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this chat, and we look forward to our next coffee table conversation. Until then, stay healthy.